Hey 316 Youth, during Tuesday nights we have been talking about different ways that God can speak to us, and I just asked a few familiar faces to share with us one way that they hear from God, that He speaks to them, and this is what they had to say.
Hi everyone, one way that I hear from God is I love to go out for a run, just clear my mind, just spend some time listening to some worship music and just allow God to drop His inspiration into my thoughts. See ya.
So I hear from God just after I've done my devotional. I'll have a couple of minutes of silence, just listening to hear what He has to say to me, and I'll know it's Him if I feel complete peace at that moment.
God speaks to me through worship. I find that when I'm worshipping Him and when I listen to worship music, He always finds a perfect song for the situation that I'm in and finds a way of communicating and speaking to me through that.
One way God speaks to me all the time is through films, particularly the imagery and some of the storylines and things that connect with my mind and my heart, things I know about God.
And God talks to me in many ways, but one of the ways He speaks to me is through a still, quiet voice. An example might be when I'm in a conversation with an individual, the Holy Spirit will drop a word in my mind to say to that individual, or it could be a case of the Holy Spirit prompting me to not say anything and just listen.
For me, I hear from God by just tiny thoughts that go into my brain, and I just act upon them, and the more I've been doing it, the more I've realised what is from God and what is my own thoughts.
Psalm 119 verse 18 says, "Open my eyes, O Lord, that I may see wonderful things that come from your word." So one of the ways that I really hear from God is as I interact with the Bible, God speaks and brings revelation of who He is and where I'm at.
Yeah, and Psalm 19 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God." And one way I hear from God is when I'm out walking. I just love those moments of quiet and stillness when you just picture all of God's creation around you, just quieten your heart and hear from God. That works for me.
The biggest way that God speaks to me is definitely through my morning devotionals when I'm reading my Bible. He always speaks so clearly to me through the verses.
I hear from God through actually everything around me. Sometimes I might ask God a question and then it may be a text message that pings, it could be a book that comes into focus, it could be a conversation I overhear somebody else having. So everything around me is how I actually hear from God.